Hey friends, Wanda here, GNR Bee Farm Homestead. Hey, it's a little dreary out today. We finally got some rain, and so we're going to be inside. So I thought I would show you what I'm going to do with all these cherry tomatoes. Are you getting a lot of cherry tomatoes on? It's getting towards the end of July, so you should be getting some tomatoes. And of course, you know, cherry tomatoes are like go and go and go and go. Most people will get their cherry tomatoes on until like frost or like, you know, early fall. I know we do. So what are we going to do with all of these cherry tomatoes? Well, you can't eat all that they produce. You can give them to friends and family, and you still have tons. So I figured out a way that we can preserve our cherry tomatoes for a while. So I'm going to show you how. These have been washed and rinsed, and look how beautiful they are from these come right off out of the garden. And the best way to pick them, really, so you don't split, is to pick them right before they start to get really red. So they're kind of like in between. And then you just bring them in the house and set them on a counter. And then in a day or two, they'll be like this. Look how beautiful that red cherry tomato. This is a cherry bomb. These are our cherry bombs. We plant these every season. And they are so juicy and good. Oh my gosh, you could just eat them and eat them and eat them. And but they are the best. And they don't seem to split as long as you get them off early. So I've went through all of these. I've rinsed them really well. You'll want to pick out any bad ones that have any bruises or anything like that, and you know, just use them for something else. Cut that part out and use it. It's not going to be good for storage. So you only want your really good, uncracked. Well, it doesn't matter if it's a little cracked, but that's up to you. But none of these are cracked. These are all well ripened. They're beautiful. They've turned out beautiful this year. So there's quite a few here, even though it doesn't look like a lot, but it is. So we're going to preserve these for now. If you can hold off and use all your fresh ones now during the season, and then when it gets closer to the end of the tomato season, if you want to grab them then, if you still have tons coming on, this is when you really is the ideal time to save up on your tomatoes. Whether it be a cherry tomato or a regular sized tomato, you can do either one. But if you can try and wait till the end of the season, your tomatoes will last you into going into the winter months when, you know, good ripened fine tomatoes aren't really on anymore. So just remember that you can use regular size or your cherries. It doesn't matter. They'll both keep. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to show you how we're going to preserve it. I'm just going to use this one jar. And I don't have any, I have some that are turning the regular size. My big beefs, they're probably about like this, maybe. Like so, maybe like that, medium size. So I'm just waiting for them to finish turning red. They're kind of like pinkish. So I can get that nice sliced tomato sandwich. Wouldn't that be awesome? So that's what I'm waiting on. But I've been eating these, and these are really good. They've been great in salads, or just, you know, snack on, man. Just pop them right in your mouth and eat. Who doesn't like that? And first thing, wash them, clean them. Then you have them all good to go. Now, what we're going to do we are going to ferment these, and we're going to make a brine so that we can store them in a cool, dark place, like down in your pantry or down in your basement, or if you have a root cellar, or just a cool, dark place where you can put them for the duration, wherever you do your canning and put all your preserving jars, as long as it's cool. So it needs to be that has that cool temperature. It will last longer during this process. So you'll want to get a few things together, okay? It doesn't take a lot, really. This is so simple. But I'm going to do this one jar, and then I may do another with a bigger tomato as the season progresses, and we'll see what we have at the end, towards the end of the season. Maybe I can do one with regular sized tomatoes. But you're going to need what you're going to need now. You're going to need a wide mouth mason jar with a white lid, or whatever lid. You need a lid to seal it. So a wide mouth is easier. These work great if you have the really big tomatoes. You can store those, in there. But I'm hoping I have enough in here to fill at least most of this jar, and the rest will fill with brine. The tomatoes have to be covered completely. That is the main thing. All of them have to be covered. Now, if you don't have anything to weigh them down when you get your tomatoes in there, Mason Top by Mason Jar, Mason Tops, they make these little glass weights, and they're called pickle pebbles. That's what they're called, pickle pebbles. But they're made from Mason Tops. It's really a nice place, and you can get these, and they got this little grip where you can hold them, and they'll fit as you fill your jar. These will weight down your, keep your food weighted down so it's underneath the brine. So either that, or just make sure that your level is over top of the food. If you don't have one of these, okay, you can do it. You just need to make sure it's well covered. So you'll need your jar, some kind of weight, or just make sure it's full. We're going to need some type of really, really good salt, and that means pink Himalayan. Excuse me. Pink Himalayan salt, kosher salt, real salt, sea salt, no table salt. Has too many yucky chemicals and iodine salt, so no table salt whatsoever. Plus, it hurts your fermenting process if you use just regular table salt, so you don't want to do that. So we are using, this is what we use, real salt. It's real fine sea salt. This is what we're using. And this is good. Or you can use, like I said, pink Himalayan salt's really, really good too. So, but we're going to be using real salt today. And you need really good water, whether it's filtered or distilled. I'm going to use distilled water, even though we have filtered water. But I'm going to use distilled water just for the video purpose, so you'll know that you can get fresh, clean, good, pure water to go into your jar. So you have your tomatoes, you have your jar, you have your salt. Now, the only other thing that you could add to your jar, if you wanted to, you could add seasonings in your jar. You could add some garlic, or any type of herbs, fresh herbs that you have. This is sweet basil. You could put those in there. You could put some some fresh basil or some fresh rosemary or maybe some sage. It just, whatever it is, however how you like to season them, or you don't have to. You can do that at a later time. I'm just giving you that option to be creative of putting in your herb while it's sitting there fermenting. It will help, flavor it later. If you're going to use it, if you're going to use that herb anyway with those tomatoes later, a lot of people put their garlic and basil already in there. So try it, and maybe try a jar and see how you like that. But today we're just going to just do the tomatoes. But just wanted to give you that option. If you have any fresh herbs out there that you're wanting, I can't go out there today because it's raining and it's all wet. So we will do just the tomatoes today. So let's get busy making our fermented cherry tomatoes. Okay, so let me set these to the side just for a moment. And with my little weight. Now, for every quart jar, and this is a wide mouth, okay? Wide mouth's so much easier for food when you got to get your hand down there. So just, that's a good tip to keep. So easier than a regular mouth. You can use them, but it's going to be a little harder to get your hand in there. So first thing is first, you need to take your really, really good high quality salt, and we're going to do per quart 3 level tablespoons of salt. There you go, there's 3. These are so cute, the little pouches. Then you can just stick this right back on there, that little turn. And they pour really nice. So I really like this new pouch that they've come out with. So I got mine at a local box store that has, it's a bulk and deli. And they carry this all with their seasonings. And it's great, I love these. And it's about 737 grams, it says. So, but anyway, that's quite a bit, I guess. So, but yeah, you should check these little pouches out. They're great. Okay, so now that we have our 3 tablespoons of our good salt, we're going to take a little bit of our filtered water, and then we're going to put some in there. Just enough to dissolve, get our salt dissolved a little bit. It doesn't have to be fully dissolved, but you want it a little bit. So I just would take my spoon and I would just stir that in just for a little bit and get most of it dissolved that you can. Give it a good stir, like so. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. You'll be shaking if you during the process, so it doesn't matter. So now we are going to take our tomatoes and we are going to start adding to the jar. And the thing is to pack the jar as much as you can. So I'm hoping I have enough here today that will fill the jar. And cherry tomatoes are so easy to get in the jar, you just got to drop them in. If they were the real bigger ones, then you would have, you'd be, stuffing them down in there. And another thing with the bigger tomatoes, if you do start to stuff them in there and they, one cracks open, it's no big deal. It's going to get cracked open later. So it's fine. Oh, I think we are going to have enough. So, oh yes. So we are going to just pack these down. Nice and tight. I may even have enough left over to snack on later. Yeah. I'm switching one out. Okay. That look, I have just enough to snack on. This will be yummy. Okay, I'm just going to go around and fix these. And now, look at that. Doesn't that look great? Look how well. Look at all those cherry tomatoes I got in that jar. That is awesome. So now all you have to do, my water level is right there. So all I got to do is top it off above these tomatoes. Or I could put my little puck on and do it that way. But I don't think I'm going to need it. I think I'm going to have plenty in there to cover and put my lid on. Here we go. Well, that one isn't covered, and I'm as full as I can go. So let me show you, so you don't be like, should I cover it anyway? Let me show you what I'm talking about. Right there, you can see this tomato is not covered. See, it's not down in there. The water level is very to the rim. So I can either take this one out, or I'd have to take some of that out and put the weight in. So I'm thinking I'm just going to discard that one rather than put in the puck or the weight. Now all my tomatoes are totally covered. So all we have to do now is to put the lid on, screw the cap on, and there we go. Look how beautiful that is. And then, let me put this back. And then, all we do is put our lid on. And I don't have to use this. But if it was a little lower, I probably could have. But it was only taking one tomato out, so it wasn't that big of a deal. So now, what we're going to do, clean my little mess up here. So now what we're going to do is set this on the counter out in the kitchen, or in your pantry, in a cool spot, and where you're going to be able to see it for the next 3 weeks. Okay? Just to make sure that you can give it a good shake. Okay? Like that. Every now and then, just turn it upside down. And just keep an eye on your water level, because your water level is right to the top to cover these cherry tomatoes. If you see your water level coming down here, okay, you need to take your lid off and fill it back to where it was to cover all the tomatoes. And then once they're all covered, put them in your cool spot wherever your pantry is. And these will last you through the winter months. And but they're beautiful. And then you can use them just like you would normally. Just take out what you want and use them to cook up or make some soup, make some stew, make some sauce. I mean, whatever it is you want to use your tomatoes for that you normally would in the winter. When you're missing them and you're like, oh, I wish I'd have canned some tomatoes. You don't have to worry about doing all that. You can have a nice jar of preserved, and just look at all the antibiotics. I mean, all the probiotics and enzymes that you're getting by saving and preserving and fermenting your tomatoes. So, and you get them in the winter. So, okay, let me know if you have ever done this with any of your tomatoes. This is our first time trying to preserve our cherry or our larger tomatoes in a different way by fermenting them in a brine for to get us through the colder months when fresh tomatoes aren't available. Okay, well, leave me a comment of what you think of our video, and let me know, are you going to try this? And if so, let us know, did you use cherry tomatoes, or what kind of tomatoes did you use? And we appreciate you stopping by, and we hope you'll share this little tip with your friends and family so they can learn too. And hey, God bless you, and we'll see you next time here on the Homestead. Bye for now.